Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This video will be about Neptune. I will make also another two videos about Pluto and Uranus. Why I chose Neptune now? First, because of your requests, and secondly, maybe because Neptune is right now, as we speak, in the vicinity of the point of the vernal equinox, which is in Pisces, the sign which Neptune rules. So Neptune is in sidereal Pisces. This makes him so significant for our era. It's like a new cycle for us because he rules Pisces. He stays in one sign very long. He will be 14 years in Pisces until the summer of 2036. Pisces and Neptune. In this video, I will tell you a little bit about his astronomical data, how they correlate with the spiritual and the astrological, how he influences us, in what way. And also, of course, we will see how important is this for our era. Neptune in Pisces. Pisces is the sign, the zodiacal sign ruling the 12th house, and is so significant for us because we are still in the era of Pisces. We are not yet in Aquarius, so anything happening in Pisces concerns every single person. We cannot look separately on the 12 ascendants. This is for equally important for each one of the 12 ascendants. 12th house is the house of the bad karma, according to the ancient astrology terminology. And it has to do, yes, with the karma of the humanity, our collective karma, if you want. So this is very important. And now he is in the vicinity of the vernal equinox point, also significant for our era. So we all feel this. Neptune is the higher octave, the higher vibration of Venus. And if Venus is about the human love, the love on the physical plane, Neptune is the divine, the God's love on the spiritual plane. This is how they differ. Neptune was discovered in a very interesting way. He was not really seen. He was discovered mathematically in 1846. I tried to see some significant events happening during his 14 years of presence in... by the way, he was discovered while he was in Aquarius. See how interesting. Discoveries are typical for the Aquarius, these types of discoveries, which have to do with technology, astronomy, they have to do a lot with Aquarius. And he was discovered while he was in Aquarius. And the Aquarius is the energy of the future because we are at the doorsteps of the year of Aquarius. So he was discovered in 1846 and he didn't bring peace. I was thinking maybe what I will see will be very significant peacemaker. No, he rules the bad karma of humanity. And even, in 1846, significant war-like event is America declared war on Mexico. But because he's the higher octave of Venus, I noticed around his ears, the great Italian composers were composing the most beautiful operas, which we still adore nowadays. This is Verdi, Puccini, Rossini. They were creating around this time of the discovery of Neptune. So see, the finest of art, the finest divine vibrations are ruled by Neptune. So the highest octave of love, this is Neptune. So very interesting. Some data I will tell you which come from the Master Being Sedunu. Great, very interesting. One is the size, how the size correlates, how the size of Neptune influences us. First of all, he's so big, the biggest from the planets in our solar system, bigger than Jupiter. He, when so big, he has very powerful influence on us. because of his size. Secondly, he is believed in the spirit world to be able to fight evil, to fight the black launch, the black forces. So he, in general, has benevolent energies. Of course, his placements in the chart can give different aspects and different details around this. Also, he yes, he influences us a lot, but when he comes very close to us, and which is when he comes in one line with the sun and earth, when they form one line, this is the moment when he forms opposition to the sun. Then he's very close to us, so he's very influential. We feel his spiritual energies, and this is important when you look at people's horoscopes. See, where is Neptune? When he's not very, very powerful, this is when he forms conjunction with the sun. This is one thing. The atmospheric layer, the atmosphere on Neptune is very thin, which means that he's not so much related to the thought processes. He's influencing our feelings, emotions. He's not very related to the thought processes. So he's also, his disc is not completely round. He has oval shape, compressed from the top. And, this has to do with the different types of energies he's projecting to us. So to some, people can, to some people, when well placed, for example, in the chart, people can reach their great, they can fulfill their tasks, they can reach their great spiritual, development, let's say. Others can be, here Master Bin Sudun is saying, stubborn. The stubbornness can also come from Neptune, to a degree, not only, of course, but he has to influence these personal qualities. His reflecting index or something like that, reflection or index, yes, is very high, highest of all planets in the solar system. It is 60%, which is very much. It's called albedo in astronomy. What this means, spiritually spoken, this means that people do not get attached to material values. People are more connected to the spiritual, to the non-material values. This is also one of the features of Neptune, which we know very well. Also, his axis, it is believed, according to the round Earth theory, that our axis is tilted with 24 degrees. The axis of Neptune was tilted 29 degrees. This is believed to be of disharmony for the Neptunian energy, because this gives inconsistency in our behaviors. Like this gives all these extremes. For example, people can either be highly spiritual, very balanced with the under the influence of the Neptunian energies, or they can get into the lies in illusionary aspect of the Neptunian energy. Neptune can give some mental, conditions, alcoholic conditions, addictions and whatnot. This is because of this inconsistency with the axis of Neptune, which is quite high. Also, what was very interesting, I mentioned to you about his influence, and he, as you know, rules Pisces. And the mythological stories of Pisces are very interesting, and somehow they're related to the energy of Christ, of Jesus Christ. And I will tell you two of the mythological stories, which I know which come from the Greek times and which have to do with the two fishes, the two Pisces. And you will see how this relates to the horoscopes and how interesting it is. So, according to the most popular myth, Poseidon, or later called Neptune by the, in our contemporary times. So, Poseidon was brother of Zeus, Jupiter. And when Jupiter was ruling, he decided that Poseidon will rule the oceans. And from there, we always correlate him with the water energy. But we are forgetting that he is also ruling the volcanoes and other natural disasters. This is why the significance of Pisces is also related to diseases and natural disasters. So this is the most popular story. But here comes one which is not that popular and seems very, very intriguing. So it comes from the Orphic myths. So he, in 2-3 stories, in one of the stories, he is son of Persephone, Venus. In the other story, he is son of Demeter. In both cases, he is son of great goddesses, one related to the netherworld and one to the earth, Demeter. But then there is a third very interesting myth. You will find all these different stories, but they have always something in common. He actually, in these 3 stories, he is Dionysus, Isus, Jesus, Isus, Jesus. So from these are the very ancient roots of the Jesus energy related to the era of Pisces, because the Piscean energy is related to the energy of the Christ essence. So he, in his form of Dionysus, Jesus, he was, like I said, either son of Persephone, which was has to do with the netherworld. This is Venus as invisible, in her form as invisible, or Demeter, which is she was ruling the earth. So then the most interesting story, like I said, he was son of Semela. She loved Zeus, and he is child of Zeus. There were some details around him coming his birth and so, but he was, but the nymphs, the Hyades, the nymphs would take care of him. They would bring him up. They would raise him, the Hyades, and they would protect him by making him wear female clothes, like he was as if he is a girl. And from there, it is believed that we feel the feminine essence of the energy of Neptune. But this also has to do with the water element, which he responds to. Then it is known that he is the son of the great mother goddess. He is related to the ecstasy, the ekstase from the wine, because Dionysus, the god Dionysus, is related to the wine, the ekstase. And this is maybe the minor aspect of Pisces, depending on how people perceive this energy. The ekstase can be joy from your, let's say, awakening, from your spiritual achievements, let's say, or from anything beautiful in life, or from art. he's related, he's ruling the ecstasy, the ecstasy from the alcohol, and also the religious ecstasy. This belongs to Dionysus, the god Dionysus, and this comes from the Orphic mythology. He was believed to be hermaphrodite, so he was neither female nor male. From there, the aspect of Neptune is not really sexual. If we can relate Venus to the sexual energy, we cannot do this with Neptune. Neptune really is about the divine energy. So you can see all this popular story of Neptune as Poseidon ruling the ocean, but he also rules, as he has also very important other aspects. I forgot to mention that he also rules earthquakes and the horses. The horses. So this is very interesting. So as you see, the essence of Christ is not only the Jesus Christ, the biblical image of Jesus Christ, but is something which existed in history prior to that. So this beautiful essence of divine love exists since the world exists, most probably, and this has to do with the divine energy of Pisces and Neptune. But of course, how we perceive this, how we work out this energy, the ecstasy, which can go to extremes, be religious ecstasy, be wine, alcoholic ecstasy, or simply be spiritual harmony and balance. This depends on the placement of Neptune in the horoscope. And since I mentioned to you that Neptune and Venus share some similar energy, the similar energy of love, but he would be the highest octave, the higher octave of Venus. We can see them in the horoscopes. How they relate depends on how we perceive these energies and what we inherited from our past lifetimes. When we see Venus and Neptune in this harmonious square, for example, in the horoscopes, it would mean that the person had great chance of being spiritual person who would have the occult knowledge, but would not apply this knowledge properly to the previous lifetime because of these aspects of Venus and Neptune which have more materialistic manifestation, like the pleasures of the material world. The person did not apply properly the great spiritual blessing of the pure Neptunian divine energy, and then you would see in the horoscopes Neptune square Venus. When there is a trine, for example, you would see highly spiritual people which would know how to deal with the divine Christ essence. How would they harmonize perfectly the divine and the material love, the love on our earth plane. So this is very, very important. Also, people who would have, let's say, Neptune good aspect with Mars, these people would be highly spiritual. They would be entirely devoted to occult, spiritual work, healing, because Neptune also has to do with healing in a very harmonious way. They would be involving all their energy into this. So this is really very, very important. So the ecstasy can be a gift, can be great, but can also be a huge challenge in people's horoscopes, and it all depends on our understanding of this energy. This is why, to understand the energy of Neptune, especially when he is now in Pisces, but exactly in this very powerful point. The point of the vernal equinox is very important because we can apply this ecstasy to knowledge, studying, art, and beauty, and so on. I also believe now when Neptune is passing through Pisces, we will reach this point, especially when he will form very good aspect with Venus, and when we'll be in a good when there will be other good aspects, and I will give special attention to this later. We will be most probably will have the similar artists like the ones which were creating art around 1846 and on. So Neptune will give these beautiful virtues to us, I hope. But the most important which he brings is this great awakening. People are not asleep. Most of the people are not asleep anymore. You see more and more people awakening. But again, it has to do with our perception. This ecstasy of the great awakening can be really, really very productive for us, but it also can be deception, depends on how Neptune is placed in your chart, and this has to do with your previous incarnation. You have to see how Neptune is placed according to the other planets, according to Venus. Then you know what you need to work on. Let's say you have Venus square Neptune. In previous lifetime, maybe you missed the chance to benefit from this spiritual, occultistic knowledge and energies in appropriate way. Maybe you would give a little bit more attention to the material world, material love, material using the material benefits instead of balancing both. So this is of key importance, and this you can see in your horoscopes. If you have, let's say, Sun opposition Neptune, and Neptune is on your ascendant, you're certainly somebody very intuitive, very spiritual, and you really understand and you benefit from these energies properly. Of course, Neptune is the extremes. You remember I told you his axis is tilted 29 degrees, and his atmosphere is so thin that he's not so much related to the mental processes, but more to the emotional processes. So this would give the extremes in his influences. To some people, he can really bring ecstasy from addictions and from religion instead of joy from spiritual awakening, from connection with with the creation, with the nature, and so. So let's see, ladies and gentlemen, what the next 14 years have for us. But this will be certainly another level of beautiful awakening. We will see the two faces of Neptune in Pisces. Powerfully, we will see them, and they will be very much triggered now when the two lunar nodes, Rahu and Ketu, are also in Pisces. Because, as you know, Rahu, the head of the dragon, is in Pisces, and he is like triggering this energy even more, testing us, how we correspond, how we perceive this divine love, which Neptune is all about. And Ketu, in the meantime, is in Virgo. So the two lunar nodes are triggering these points. And this will be very, very interesting. So in the meantime, I will have 2 or 3 chances to create Neptune talismans. Now, I will announce them in separate video, but now on the 10th, tomorrow, I'm making Neptune talismans. You can see them on my website. What are they all about? They are about protection. On one level, proper spiritual connection and awakening with the good joy and the positive ecstasy which Neptune also promises, and healing, spirituality, the Christ essence. Because you see, the Christ essence exists much before the Bible. Dionysus, this is Dionysus was in the mythological stories is all about that. So I hope this was interesting. If you would share other myths, would be very interesting. Because certainly there would be something in the, let's say, Indian or the Nordic mythology. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen. All the best. Bye bye.